Hey guys, Ray here again from Audience Lab, and what we're going to cover today is more so best practices, strategies, and approaches for pricing the Audience Lab features that we've already discussed. Now, in the prior couple modules here in this win kit, we discussed a little bit about, a hands-off, low fulfillment model DaaS agency as opposed to the kind of full stack agency. Of course, we're going to charge different, and we'll dive into that a little more in here and make sure we tie it all together. Then next, there was a module on the differences between the audiences and the pixel and when those would be the right things to pitch. And now I think what really ties it all together is the pricing. Okay. So that being said, I want to keep this more basic to the features that are going to be most applicable. The pixels and the in-market audiences are what all of our DaaS clients use the most, sell the most. They are the most valuable features and aspects of the platform that we will be pitching. So, as I mentioned in the THO video, some of you guys might have saw that if you're in our DaaS program before booking that one-on-one THO call with me. But in that video, I go through some of the different ways to price this. I go through different performance-based models and packages. Specifically in the pixel in that video, I lay out pricing if we want to do performance-based and sell back per lead. Performance-based if we want to charge per booked call or booked appointment. Performance based on the average deal value. When they close a deal, and let's say for a 10K deal, you get kicked back 15% of the average order value or the closed deal value and the cash collected. There's all kinds of different performance models we can talk about. Please go back through that THO video if you haven't already, or ask somebody on the team if you're in DaaS and you never received that. Now, if you're watching this and you're in one of our incubator programs, you don't quite have access to all the same resources and materials that our DaaS clients do. There's a very specific reason for that, and that's not really what this module is designed to do, so I'm not going to dive too much into that. But again, I want to give you some of the more core pricing strategies and just prices, right? I want to lay them out on the screen for you and show you what I would recommend. So really quickly, I'm going to go over to, this is the pricing pitch or the pricing slide within the pitch deck for one of my more successful DaaS agencies. His particular business is called Core 360. Now, what I want to highlight is the first two columns that are both outlined in orange. Those are both geared toward in-market audiences. The two columns in blue are geared toward the identity resolution or the super pixel. Now, in both of those, the orange and the blue, column number one would be more for you guys that are the low fulfillment model agency, the kind of hands off, not running your remarketing and retargeting campaigns, advertisements, et cetera, et cetera. The second column in both these is more the full stack agency. Now, our Core 360 DaaS agency here does both. He'll offer just selling the data, and he'll offer the data and the reactivation. Now, I will point out that his pricing is a little different and a little lower, or fluctuates a little from some of my recommendations. And that's just due to certain specifics and nuances and intricacies within his particular marketplace and the feedback he's got. Also, it has a bit to do with the plan he has. Now, this particular client, just so some of you guys know, he has our enterprise package, which is unlimited plan. Means he has unlimited pixels and audiences, so he can price it and position it and offer a little different than you guys with only X amount of lists or pixels per month. You guys might do it a little differently. But all in all, the core pricing, I'm sure you can make the correlation when I run through this. Now, again, he offers an in-market audience. If you just want to buy a list or an audience a la carte and you want one per month, he offers it for $9.95. As I say in a lot of my workshops and my training and pricing materials, I would never sell in-market audiences / lists for less than $750 a piece. So this particular client took my advice and actually charged a little more than that. Again, $750 bottom of the barrel. I would never sell it for less. In many cases, I know we can charge more, especially when I know the niche, the industry, the average order value of their product or service. That stuff can all vary, but I'm just going by bare minimum set standard pricing. Let's say you are in our DaaS Lite tier, which gets 15 lists per month. And I'm just going to pull out my calculator to make sure my math's right. But let's say we sold 15 lists or audience at the bare minimum price I just mentioned of $750. That would lead to over $11,200 in revenue every month just selling your list for the bottom of the barrel pricing. Now, if you are in our DaaS Lite program, you know you're paying far less than 1/3 of that number I just mentioned per month. So if I could just sell audiences, no pixels, no enrichments, nothing else, at the bare minimum that I'm recommending here, 750 per list or audience, that would again equate to about $11,250 a month. Now, there's certainly times where we can charge more and instances where we can charge more, but this is just a simple way to get an easy, quick ROI on your investment into Audience Lab. Now, in this case, column 2, just so you guys know, here, this top column with audience provided. Now, this client provides unlimited audiences. Now, again, not all of you guys can do this. The verbiage and the sound to the prospect and the prospective buyer sounds a lot better when we say unlimited audiences. Now, there's two differences between this Core 360 agency and maybe many of the people watching this video. Number one, as I already mentioned, he has access to the unlimited plan, so he has no limit on audiences, so it doesn't really matter. Number two, he's in the home service industry, and even the larger clients that he works with, he knows they don't use more than 4 lists per month. So although he's saying unlimited, he knows even for his largest client that he's working with, that's not more than 4 lists per month. So again, if you know your industry and how many lists they're going to be pulling, and once you get a little more familiarity, even when you have less than unlimited, you may be able to use this verbiage. But the easier way to do this, if you do have a limit on the amount of lists, is column 1, a single audience. Column 2, multiple audiences per month, plus the ad management and or the reactivation of the data. So again, not all of you guys are going to want to offer column 2, both in the orange and the blue. Those are more for the people offering full stack services. But even if you're a low fulfillment, you can have an a la carte, hey, $9.95 per list, or you can get 3 lists at $2,500 and save $500, right? So you can still not do the reactivation, bulk or lump together multiple lists and charge a different premium, right? So again, that's kind of those two columns. Then he offers the pixel. And again, I go through this specifically in the pixel pricing tutorial that I've created. If you haven't already seen that, I will link that below. And that also includes the link to our pixel forecast calculator. Please go through the module that will explain it and tell you how to use it much more. I don't want to kind of use up my time and waste the time here on something that's already going to be covered and linked below, but I highly recommend checking that out. But this is how this particular agency prices the pixel. If they just want a pixel slapped on their site, and we're just going to give them back the data each month at $7.95. Now, again, my recommendation and how I sell pixels individually to business owners is I wouldn't sell them for less than $1,500 on retainer. And almost in all cases, I'm going to do performance-based compensation and performance-based deals and proof of concept deals with the pixel rather than the monthly retainer. There are outliers to that. And again, I cover it more in the video. In this case, he's charging about half the cost that I would recommend. But again, he has unlimited pixels. It makes sense. It also makes sense because he's spoken to the industry and he knows by the market feedback, if we can offer something for somewhere between $800 and $1,000 in that price range, and just kind of an a la carte, get started with this and let me get you a result. We already know through multiple conversations and closed deals that this is one of the best products for him to just get his foot in the door, make a sale, and then he can upsell reactivation later or audiences later. So we can a lot of times look at cross sells and upsells later to increase the monthly recurring revenue as well as the lifetime value of that particular client. But sometimes it's really good to know what we can just get our foot in the door with and what pricing they're comfortable with, where we're going to get very little rejection, objections, rejections, apprehensiveness, skepticism, yada, yada, yada. So he figured out in his niche and industry, this was a great price point because of his unlimited package. He still has great margins and it leads to multiple cross sells and upsells later. But again, he charges $7.95 for the straight pixel. I would recommend not charging less than $1,500 for that. He charges $1,500 for the pixel and the reactivation, meaning running ad campaigns or email campaigns or whatever with that data, right? So if we took the second column, his more extensive options with the pixel and the audience, and we added those together, $24.95 plus $14.95 leads us to about $3,990. Of course, he offers a bit of a discount, about $500 off if you go with all those packages. So again, his full stack agency pricing for unlimited audiences, or you could just package multiple, for ad management, for identity resolution, and the reactivation of the pixel data and reactivation of the resolved identities. He charges $34.95 a month, which is about a $500 discount if they were going to go with everything. Cool, let's get you everything and give you a bulk discount since you're utilizing all of our services. Now you'll see at the bottom, It mentions, and again, I think I have that bar blocking it, but I don't think you're seeing it on yours. But he has a one-time setup fee of $9.95 for all of these accounts. Doesn't matter if they buy one thing, two things, five things. It's a one-time setup fee. I always recommend you guys do the same. Figure out what you're comfortable with and what's a good number for your niche or industry. But I recommend attaching somewhere between a $500 and $1,000 one-time setup fee, whatever you want to call that, activation fee. Usually we're charging that a lot of times in proof of concept campaigns specifically to cover our hard costs, make sure that they're making a commitment and something that's very affordable before we show them the capabilities and then go back and kind of renegotiate our full stack pricing. So that's a good little overview of some core pricing, some different options and some different ways to go about it. Check out the video linked in here for more description about just the pixel pricing. And then down again below in the description of that video, that tutorial, which is uploaded to YouTube, is where you'll find the link to the pixel forecast calculator. And that module goes through exactly how to use that. So guys, this should give you all the foundations you need to kind of set your pricing and have pretty good understanding of which parameters to operate in as we're creating. And again, it's similar to this offer. We want to constantly be optimizing and tweaking our pricing based off, what we're seeing in the industry, what people are happy to pay, what's getting less objections, and again, skepticism and apprehensiveness. And again, in many cases, I have a client specifically that's charging $2,000 per list. So this first column, that this particular Core 360 agency is charging. This other guy, Garrett, I am mentioning, charges double that, $2,000 per list. He actually feels like he's significantly undercharging because he works with private injury attorneys, and pretty much each 2K list turns into a minimum of $60K for them. Now, he didn't realize how effective and how much of an ROI they would have. He still has very good pricing that's very profitable. But as he said to me on a recent workshop that he attended, Ray, I kind of feel like I shot myself in the foot and I could have charged significantly more. And those are things we figure out and we adjust as we go on, contingent upon a number of different factors, but mostly what I spoke about and talked about here today. So let me know if you need any more help with the pricing. Check out the superpixel / identity resolution pricing and the spreadsheet that goes with that, the forecast calculator included here in this module. And again, the THO lesson, the Trojan Horse offer module that came to you with your onboarding when you should have booked your one-on-one call with me. Either go through that. If you haven't received it, reach out to somebody, let us get that to you. Or maybe you want to go through it again and see some of the different analogies I give for performance-based pricing.